For the student day harmonizations for level 2, you have 3 choices and you get to pick which one you want to prepare. So play through the melodies of all 3 and choose your favorite. These are on page 2, 3 of the packet that I gave you, and they look like this. Dun, da, da, dun. Mine's kind of crinkled, but here's the melody for A. And you will play the melody with your right hand and add the chords with your left. So you can either read these symbols at the top, C, G7, C, or these Roman numerals at the bottom, 1, 5, 7, 1. These will be really useful when we transpose it. So your C chord, I would use root position. For G7, pinky slides down and you play the top 2 notes of your 5-finger pattern. Because as a reminder, this is your 5 chord, where we added a note 7 notes higher than G. That's a handful, so we take that G up the octave and invert it, and then we leave out the D because we don't need it. So that's how we got those notes. So together and harmonized, it should sound like this. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate these other 2 for you. You will practice whichever one you choose. You'll practice it hands separately, melody alone, chords alone, and then slowly hands together. So every time you see a symbol, you are striking that chord. So here's B. This one has a first and second ending. So the first time through, I'll play the first ending. Second time through, I skip that first ending and go to the second one. 1, 2, 3. Here's C. The only challenge here is that your right hand leaves your 5-finger pattern. You have to reach up for an A. So for the fingering there, you may want to slide your thumb onto this D. So if you slide thumb there, then you have a skip between these 2 fingers instead of having to reach up and have a skip between 4 and 5. So I would slide thumb, then reach down to the B, if you choose that one. So let's talk about transposition. To transpose something is to play it in a different position other than is written. So instead of in the key of C, you could choose D or G or A. Whatever you change it to, that is now your 1 and your 1 chord. So let's say I wanted to do it in the key of A. My chords will be an A major chord, and then I need an E 5/7. So I can either think about the shape of this chord to this chord. My pinky goes down a half step. My top 2 notes are the top 2 notes of my 5-finger pattern. So if I'm in the key of A, I know I need these notes, and then I go down a half step. There's my 5/7 in the key of A. I can also think 5th note is E, an E major chord, plus I add a 7th on the top. Then I move my E up, and then I leave out the B. So 2 ways to get to the same place. You can pick a key, any key you want. It can be G, it can be D, any key you feel comfortable in, you get to decide. Now, how do you transpose the melody? So in the key of C, C is 1. This is my 2nd note, this is my 3rd note. So I start on the 3rd note of the key. Let's go back to my A example. The 3rd note is a C sharp. So I'm going to put my hand in an A 5-finger pattern and use the same fingerings get started, I'm thinking about if the note is stepping or skipping, is it going higher or lower? And I'm thinking about the position of that A major 5-finger pattern. So I hope that makes sense. Let's do B as an example as well, and we'll pick another key. I'm gonna pick G for this one. So in the key of C, this first note is G, and that's the 5th note in a C major 5-finger pattern, right? So C major, scale anything. So I would start with my pinky there. So if I'm gonna transpose to G, I literally move my hand, and that note from C up to G is a 5th higher. So I'm gonna go a 5th higher than my starting note there. My first note is now a D, right? So I skip down and skip back up. All of these first notes are all skips. They're the notes from the chord, right? So that's how I figure out those notes. And then these are stepping higher. So I made it down, right? Step down, a 4th up, and skip down. I hope the transposition process makes sense, how to find the melody transposed, how to figure out what chords you need transposed. If you have any questions, you know how to reach me, but you only need to do one of these. So pick your favorite, play it in the key that it's written first, and then pick an easy, comfortable key to transpose to. That you know the 5/7 chord is gonna feel comfortable, all that stuff. So when you transpose it, pick that one key and stick to that one key. You only have to play one of these examples in 2 keys, the way it's written and one time transposed. So happy practicing!